What's up with the city of Keizer? If you're relocating to Salem, Oregon, you've probably heard a thing or two about Keizer, but my guess is you still have a few questions. Well, in this video, I want to help you answer those exact questions by taking you on a deep dive tour of Keizer, Oregon. You are either gonna love it or you just might hate it, but either way, you are about to be one the wiser. We are going to be pulling up a map and breaking down the neighborhood, but I'm also going to be showing you footage from the exact areas we're talking about. Stick around until the end because I'm going to be sharing with you the top reasons why my YouTube clients are moving to Keizer. My name is Clarity Odd and I'm a local real estate agent here in Salem who specializes in relocations. And just like you, I relocated to Salem. But now I'm gonna make videos all about this amazing city for you, my future clients. If you wanna hire me to be a real estate agent here in Salem, all you gotta do is book a one-on-one consultation with me. You can find a link to get on my calendar in the description down below. We are headed north of Salem to talk about Keizer, which is technically not a neighborhood of Salem, but it is an entirely different city. But the way that it functions, it might as well just be a suburban neighborhood of Salem. As you can see here on the map, Keizer is very, very close to Salem. It has about 40,000 residents and it's mostly residential and suburban living. Keizer does not have its own downtown, and so you are going to be relying on the downtown of Salem to get those downtown kind of vibes that you might be wanting. But in terms of residential living spaces, Keizer is really beloved by a lot of my clients, and I am going to tell you exactly why. There's a wide variety of architectural styles here in Keizer, from two-story to ranch style, but one thing that they all have in common is that they are a little bit more contemporary than some of the other neighborhoods that you can find around Salem. The lots in Keizer do tend to be a little bit larger than some of the other neighborhoods around Salem. You're also going to find places like McNary Estates, which is a luxury golf course community in Keizer. You're also going to have Inland Shores if you want to live on a man-made lake, and then you have a really great combination of houses that were constructed in the 1950s, which are more in line with those ranch style homes, but you also have some newer development homes that were constructed in the 1980s, 90s, and earlier 2000s. I have to emphasize that this is a very suburban area, and to me it feels very similar but different to Northeast Salem in that it is suburbia. A lot of the houses are going to look a little bit more cookie cutter to you, and there's not an abundance of unique character homes like a lot of other neighborhoods around Salem. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means prepare yourself to look for more cookie cutter homes in a place like Keizer. If you're finding value in this video so far, give it a thumbs up and go down to the comments and tell me why you are thinking about moving into Keizer over Salem. Let's check out some of the recently sold homes in the Keizer area so that you can get a better feel for what is being offered in terms of price point and home styles. What we're looking at right now is the past 3 months of sold single-family detached homes in Keizer. So down here is Salem, Oregon, the downtown area, and then this outline right here is the city of Keizer. So we're going to zoom in so you can get a better idea. This is the man-made lake of Stats Lake, and then we have McNary Estates over here as well. So let's just go through here. 3-bed, 2-bath, over 1,300 square feet. Very, very common to find here in Keizer. The price point is like average, just kind of spot on. Set your expectations at this if you're looking at Keizer. This one is 3 beds, 1.5 baths. And that is very common in Keizer and Northeast Salem. So you're going to find a lot of 1.5 baths and then closer to the 1,000 square foot range. All right, let's see if we can find a bigger house here. So again, price points are all just kind of in the low to mid 400s, which is just on par with what you can expect. Okay, this one is in McNary Estates, which is right here, the red one. And let's check it out. So McNary Estates is the golf course community. It is going to have higher price points. The houses are all very well maintained. You can get a house right on the golf course if you want to, but do expect to spend upwards of $500,000 to get into McNary Estates. All right, and let's check out one more house. This is an interesting one. I toured this one with some of my clients, so let's take a look on the inside. It was outdated, and that also is a common theme of Keizer. We have a lot of houses where people just stay in them for 30, 40, 50 years, and so a lot of times if you're looking for a project house, Keizer is a really great space to check out. And this one, clearly somebody lived there for a very long time because it was in need of some major renovations and updates. But what a cool fireplace there. Also, those fireplaces just being put in the corner and having brick, also very common. All right, moving on, let's check out one more house. What catches my fancy here? You know, kind of both of these houses I feel like I want to speak about. They're both 3-bed, 1.5 baths, and almost the exact same square footage. This one is 100 square feet smaller, but I want you to be mindful of how big this front yard is. So when we talk about the lots being slightly larger in Keizer than some of the other areas around Salem, this is kind of what we're talking about. Your house is set back a little bit further from the street and the sidewalk, which either you're gonna like it or you're not. Some people don't really care about front yards, which is understandable because like, WTF are you supposed to do with the front yard? But again, this is kind of outdated. It needs some loving on. Great project house in my mind. But I mean, the price points are very similar and the square footage, the bed and bath situation is very similar. So set your expectations to be like this if you're looking in Keizer. Now, let me just check out the most expensive houses. We're gonna skip these because they're duplexes. So let's check out this bad boy right on the river, 4-bed, over 3,000 square feet. And I want to give you an idea of like, what does luxury look like in Keizer and kind of at the higher price point. So this is a big house. It is right along the Willamette River. Keizer does offer riverside living if you want that. To the west is where the Willamette River kind of hugs Keizer. But this is a layout that is also very common in Keizer, like the actual floor plan. I have no words for this kitchen. It looks very industrial. I mean, they must have cooked a whole heck of a lot. Oh, that's cute, a little elephant. Anywho, that is kind of like the big boy house that you could find in Keizer on the larger end. And then really the high price point houses are going to be in McNary Estates. So if you like golf course living, I hope your wallet's a little bit bigger than what the rest of Keizer can offer. Generally speaking, Keizer is going to be slightly more economically feasible than a lot of other neighborhoods in Salem. And this comes down to two main factors. The two main reasons why the cost of living in Keizer is slightly more economically feasible than a place like Salem comes down to the property taxes and then the cost of real estate. Property taxes in Keizer tend to be slightly lower than the city of Salem itself. This is a huge generalization because the cost of property taxes varies from house to house, but generally speaking, you can expect that your property taxes are going to be just slightly lower in Keizer than they are in Salem. The other main factor comes down to the cost of real estate when you actually buy a house in Keizer. The home prices are slightly lower in Keizer than they are in Salem. You are typically going to be able to find houses that are very, very similar to ones that you could find in Salem in terms of size and quality, but they are going to be a little bit cheaper in Keizer. This means that your taxes and the purchase price of your future home are going to make just a little bit of an impact, which means it's going to be more economically feasible to actually move into the city of Keizer than purchasing a house that's comparable to it and moving into the city of Salem. I do have to tell you that although it's more economically feasible to live in Keizer than it is in Salem, it is still going to be very relative based on where you are actually coming from. If you're coming from a high cost of living place, you're going to be like, oh my God, Salem, Keizer, they're both cheap as a dime. Let's purchase all the houses we can. But if you're moving from a low cost of living place, you might find that Keizer still feels a little bit prohibitive in terms of the price points for real estate. At the time that this video was filmed, the median sales price for a single family detached home in Salem was at $420,000. For Keizer, that number was at $414,000. So that's only a difference of $6,000 in regards to purchasing real estate, but that in tandem with slightly lower property taxes can make a little bit of an impact impact on your month-to-month cost. In Keizer, there's not a lot of new construction single-family homes that are going on. What we're seeing mostly is new construction apartment complexes. So if your main focus is getting a new construction single-family home that is north of Salem, you are probably going to want to focus your search efforts to Northeast Salem, which is located right here just across Interstate 5. What we're looking at right now is the FEMA flood zone for the city of Keizer. The blue stripy parts are going to be the areas that you need to be speaking to your insurance provider to see if they need you to obtain flood insurance. And if ever you want to check if a house is in a flood zone or not, I've put this FEMA link down in the description below. All you got to do is type in the address of the house and it will automatically populate what flood zone that house may or may not fall into. If you're thinking to yourself like, holy guacamole, Clarity, that is a whole heck of a lot of information. Well, don't worry, I really don't need you to remember all of it. But I do want you to remember that when you've decided that you're relocating to Salem and you want help in this relocation process and you're ready to hire me, book that one-on-one consultation so that we can work together to create a plan for you to relocate here to Salem. The main north to south roads that you need to be aware of if you're thinking about relocating to Keizer is going to be River Road, Verde Road, and then 99E. Then from east to west, we have Lock Haven Drive, and then there are a few other smaller east to west roads, but we're just going to be talking about the main one, which is Lock Haven. And personally, this is the one that I use the most when I am up in this Keizer area. River Road is probably the most important north to south road in Keizer, and as you can see here on the map, it goes all the way up through Keizer. You could continue going on River Road and get yourself into a place like McMinnville or Portland if you really wanted to. River Road is also going to be taking you into downtown Salem, which is located right here. River Road is really like the heartbeat of Keizer. It is where you are going to have a lot of your retail and grocery shopping needs met. It's also where Keizer hosts all of its parades, and overall it is just a major street for Keizer. The next road we have is Verde Road, which is located right here and is going to probably be very important to you if you live in this quadrant over here. You're likely going to find yourself on 99E and taking Verde Road to get into your neighborhood, because 99E and Verde Road, they are like BFFs and function very well together. Then we have 99E. 99E is also going to be able to shuffle you into downtown Salem, but why it's really important is that it's going to connect you with Interstate 5. And I personally find that 99E is the most convenient and straightforward road to take to get out of Keizer and connect yourself with Interstate 5. Now going east to west, we have Lock Haven Drive, and why this is a really important street for you is because it's going to be the main connecting road for you to jump onto Interstate 5, but it's also going to connect you with Kaiser Station, with Northeast Salem, with City Hall, and then there is this little area right here that Lock Haven and River Road connect you to get to all of the strip malls and restaurants and just everything that you could ever need off of River Road. So Lock Haven is super important to shuffle you from the east to the west side of Keizer, but also to get to Northeast Salem and Interstate 5. In regards to grocery stores and restaurants, the majority of these things are going to be found off of River Road. Now, I wish I could tell you that Keizer had its own Costco, but it does not. So if you want to go to Costco, you are going to have to go into South Salem to get your Costco shopping done. But there are going to be a lot of grocery stores off of River Road, like Safeway, or my husband likes to call it Danger Way. You also have Fred Meyer's and Winco, which is a discount grocery store, which is a really great one here. And then of course you just have like banks and restaurants and coffee shops and just everything you could ever imagine right off of River Road. I did just mention Kaiser Station, but let's talk a little bit more about Kaiser Station because it's like the best place ever in Keizer. Kaiser Station is a large or like mega strip mall. You're gonna find retail shopping like the biggest and best Target that we have here, Ulta Beauty, Petco, Lowe's, World Market, and so many other retail spaces. But you're also going to find a lot of restaurants like In-N-Out, Panda Express, Starbucks, and a whole bunch of other fast food options too. In Kaiser Station, it's not just popular with the people that live in Keizer, but it's really going to function as a shopping center for all of Salem and the smaller surrounding areas like Silverton, Dallas, Woodburn, and any of those other smaller communities. It's always pretty crowded with a lot of people getting their errands done and doing shopping. And so if you move into Keizer, you are probably going to fall into that crowd and find yourself at Kaiser Station quite a bit. Just north of Kaiser Station, we have the Volcano Baseball Stadium, which is unique because Keizer and Salem, they really don't have a focus on sports, but we do have a baseball stadium, and I personally have not been to this baseball stadium. Sports just really aren't my jam, especially baseball, but I feel like if you liked baseball, great, wonderful news. They just returfed the stadium, so I think that they are trying to revitalize the Volcanoes Stadium as much as they can. So the main takeaway here is that in Keizer, your shopping needs are going to be met on either River Road or in Kaiser Station. Meeting times to get into downtown Salem depend on really how far north into Keizer you are actually purchasing a house, but I'm gonna say it's gonna take you about 20 to 30 minutes to get into downtown Salem. To get onto Interstate 5, it's gonna take you probably about 10 to 15 minutes depending on where you purchase a house. The main reason why people tend to purchase homes in Keizer over any other part of Salem is because it is incredibly conveniently located to travel and getting onto Interstate 5. So for my friends on the internet who are going to be taking jobs or have jobs in Portland or Sherwood or Tigard or Lake Oswego or any of those other areas up north, Keizer is going to be a great place that you should be focusing on if your main need is ease and commutability to Interstate 5. There are a lot of great aspects about Keizer, but one of my favorite highlights about Keizer is the Keizer Rapids Park. The Keizer Rapids Park is located right here along the Willamette River, and as you can see here on the map, it is pretty dang big. I think it has almost 4 or 5 acres, so it's a large one. There's an off-leash doggy area. There's an emu that lives next to the doggy area. And then there are also plenty of walking trails, a mini amphitheater, just a really great park to bring your favorite dog to or your favorite human to. And to me, the Keizer Rapids Park feels like a similar but different version of downtown Salem's waterfront park. In the summertime, you're gonna find outdoor concerts and people putting their kayaks in the river from the little dock here, which I personally would not advise because the Willamette River is very fast flowing and people get unalived there every single year in that river. So proceed with caution if that's your cup of tea. But overall, I think that this park is a huge benefit to the city of Keizer and one that should definitely be checked out, especially if you have a fur baby. The main reason why my YouTube clients are interested in living in Keizer really boils down to convenience and easy commutability to Interstate 5 and getting themselves into the different pockets of the Portland metro area. Keizer is a really great alternative to purchasing a home in Portland because the cost of living in Keizer compared to the greater Portland area, Keizer is significantly less. So that means you're going to be able to find a bigger house at a better price in Keizer than you ever could in Portland or the surrounding areas. If you're ready to talk about developing a plan for your future relocation here to Salem, book that one-on-one consultation with me. If you enjoyed this video, you, my friends, are definitely going to want to watch this one next. Bye-bye.